Welcome to PNRShow Season 2, Episode 17, Robazumas Revenge. I can't actually say that.
I'd rather have longer than mine. I'll take a strong stout over stride. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for mine. I'd rather have lager than mine.
Hello, interwebs. It's time for yet another PNR show. Yes, you thought it was a mere 7 days ago that we finished this, and here we are already again. Hi, Gary. Hi, Jeremy. And,
Hey, Keith.
once again, we're Robless. Rob
Hi,
got
Keith.
sick on his vacation in Mexico, and we kind of hate him for going to Mexico anyway, so we're just going to laugh.
I think he just needs a nap.
Yeah, I know.
He's
Tired out. It was a big time zone change from Mexico to Texas. He's probably jet lagged.
Yeah. I have no pity for him. Although I do have some sympathy for the people in his area around Houston. They're kind of getting hammered with some pretty nasty weather. So.
Yeah. The pictures of Houston are not pretty, and I guess Austin's not a whole lot better.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody, hopefully our listener there is doing well and is safe.
Yes, we are our other Houston listener. Hang in there, Andrew. Get a paddle.
Yeah. But I'm doing well. I'm really sad that Rob wasn't on the show because I wanted to talk about Mad Max with him because I actually did go see Mad Max, and I will say that it met expectations.
Oh, that's not good.
And that's all I will say. It met expectations.
Oh, no.
I know exactly what you expected.
Yeah, so do we, because we all listened to your pre-review. So that's not going to work well. I'm very much enjoying the rest of the internet, loving it, but I haven't seen it yet myself either. I may not until it comes on.
After I saw that, we went back and watched the Road Warrior. So not Mad Max, the first one, the Road Warrior, the one that got famous, And there were some distinct, well, you would have imagined borrowing from the movie, but there were some things that some nice touches that they added in the new movie that I didn't recognize when I saw it because it'd been probably 20 years since I'd seen the Road Warrior. So it was interesting to compare the two movies for similarities and differences, but we'll get into that in more details when Rob is actually on the show because I'm sure he'll have a lot more to say about it.
Could be it, or he's basically just afraid of talking to you about it now.
Or he is. I think that
might be what he's doing. He's gone into hiding.
He's gone into hiding. He doesn't want to talk about Mad Max.
Mexico and fever thing is a ploy.
I'm sick.
So what have you been up to, Jeremy? Anything good? Besides
just
being an old man?
It's not very exciting. Yeah, being an old man. Kind of technology.
Remind me again, what is it you do for a living, Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm a software engineer.
That's what I thought. So, the software engineer that hates technology and wants everybody to get off his lawn. Yes.
Obviously, wildly successful.
Love it. You are a paradox, if nothing else, Jeremy. That's why we love you.
And he's a connoisseur.
He is. Of many things.
Of beer.
Beer? We should drink beer.
We should drink beer.
Here we go.
Beer?
There we go. There's our bumper for beer.
Woohoo!
I was saying before the show...
we missed you.
I was saying before the show, this was actually a great week to do a Bring Your Own Beer segment again because I found a great new beer this week. So
What'd you find?
I'm just going to kick it off. I am drinking tonight. Genesee Brewhouse has a pilot batch, so this is their small batch seasonal stuff that they're going to start kicking out of Genesee beer, and it's an Imperial Black IPA.
Oh my God, that sounds like heaven.
And this might be my new, well, it's definitely my new favorite beer from Jenny, with hands down. And it's possibly, if they keep producing it or if I can keep buying it, this might be my beer of the summer. I am so in love with this beer.
You haven't even opened it yet. I'm in love with the label. Just the thought of Imperial Black IPA sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, well, the Genesee Brew House is a little restaurant and brew pub. They finally opened. We in Rochester have been Genesee beer fans and just local residents of this brewery forever. It's been around since 50s and 60s. One of the oldest large breweries in America, and but we've never had anywhere to go and buy swag or kind of celebrate our love for Genesee beer. And so it was just a few years ago they finally opened a little brew house in one of the old buildings in the area right around the brewery. And it's a cute little pub, and they've got all their brews on tap, plus the Dundee product that they put out, plus North American Brewers that owns them now. Brews at Genesee Brewery some of the Magic Hat beers and a few other ones, and they'd always have those on tap too. So it's kind of neat. You could go sample stuff, but a lot of it is, it's Jenny beer, which is an adjunct lager for the most part. It's just a classic American beer, which is in the days of craft brewing is not that great. They've taken the Dundee line and kind of pushed it into that, but still, it ends up everything they do over there is not bad, but it's not great. It's not really craft beer quality stuff. Until this thing is amazing, and I'm going to pour it on camera so you can see the richness of this beer.
So they're stepping up a little bit, huh?
They seem to be, at least in this little pilot run. They claim that if it's popular enough, they'll move this into production. But I have never seen them produce anything of this caliber before. It's an amazing beer. It smells right off the bat of all the dark richness of it. It's not too hoppy on the nose. A lot of caramel malts, and you can see it's just kind of pitch black, and even the head is got that dark brown kind of foam to it.
That looks really good.
It is really good. If I send this to you guys, the one complaint you'll have is it's not quite.
What's this if?
It's not quite hoppy enough. Because I expected from an Imperial IPA to be really super hoppy, and it's not super hoppy. It has enough hops to be called an IPA, and what it is it's really well balanced with the malts. And it just makes it super drinkable. It's got this Jenny beer simplicity that you can really throw it back, but at 8%, that can be a little dangerous. Yeah. It's rich and complex, but still easy to drink. It's really just a perfect combination of beers. It's everything that's great about American craft brew in one glass.
Sounds awesome. And so what's your rating? I'm guessing it's like pretty high.
Yeah, I would give this a 9. Wow. I think this is a great effort by Genesee, and it's nice to see this stuff coming out, even if it only shows up in these occasional pilot batches that they're calling them, and they never get any farther than that. I think it's an amazing beer. And
it looks good.
I'm kind of hesitant to promote it on the show. If we had a bigger listener base, I would be very fearful to do that because I don't want everybody to buy it. I want to buy it all myself. This is my beer, my secret private beer. All you all stay away.
I love black IPAs. You know what? And I don't expect black IPAs to be hoppy. I expect more of those toasty, malty flavors in black IPAs.
They are, and that's what this is. I kind of want it to be super hoppy, get up there like a Pliny and stuff too, because that would just be the perfect blend. That would kick it up to a 10. If it could be that hoppy and that rich at the same time.
That's the Lagunitas nighttime.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for this. I didn't expect it to be this, but man, they really nailed everything else about it. So it's just, I probably wouldn't change what it is. It's really good. I've had a lot of black IPAs that I like, but the Imperial black IPAs are kind of hit and miss, and not as nearly as popular. And Jenny of all people nailed this. So
Yeah, the black IPA is tough to do. It's more often a miss for me.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had some pretty good ones. I think Night 10 is probably my favorite. This Shoots is a good one. I actually went to this craft beer or homebrew thing this weekend, and there were a couple of really good black IPAs that people were doing as homebrews. So it may be kind of the next style. Like IPAs kind of came up and have been popular for a few years. I think black IPAs might kind of start to see a lot more popularity.
Yeah, I really like the a black IPA or some of the other black versions of light beers that they do. What is it? Full Sail does a nice session, kind of black something. I can't remember what it is. It's like a black lager, but it's really good. And in the summertime, it's great because it's still easy to drink, but it's got the rich complexity that you really want from a good craft brew. So I think if they get them right, which is not easy to do, man, it's just perfect. So. Payday is tomorrow, so I'm definitely going to buy another 6-pack of this, and I might buy 2.
You should buy one to send to your friends.
I might have to do that. It's up to send you guys. You guys send me such awesome beer. I might have to return the favor because there's no way in hell this is going to get across the country anytime soon. So
yeah, we don't get anything from Genesis. I don't think I've ever seen it out here. So.
No, I don't think we do.
Magic Hat. Did you say they brew Magic Hat?
They brew a contract brewer for Magic Hat.
Yeah, I've seen that. We get that
in Rochester, and I think a couple other their seasonals show up from Rochester.
All right. Well, my beer is starting to get cold, and it's got a wax top, so I think Jeremy should go. And I have to carve into my.
Yeah, I'll go while you work on that beer.
I've
got an IPA tonight. This is Stone's go-to IPA, and it's a session IPA, 4.5% ABV. If you've listened to the show, you've probably heard me talk about PBR, which is the official beer of home improvement, as far as I'm concerned, because it's pretty much water. It's easy to drink. It's hydrating. This might take the place of it. Not as inexpensive, unfortunately.
Right.
But it pours nice and clean.
It kind of looks like a
good hoppy
PBR.
aroma, like you would expect from Stone. It's got plenty of hops in it. Nicely balanced, not too bitter, and for a session IPA, actually quite good. It's definitely tastes like an IPA.
You know, I've actually had that, and I didn't know it was a session IPA when I got it. I only got a couple bottles from a friend, and I was impressed with it as a session beer. I'm not a huge fan of session IPAs. I think that they do things to try to mask the lack of alcohol in it. But I thought that Stone did a really good job of coming up with a very drinkable, low alcohol beer.
I think the only thing missing is maybe a little bit of the mouthfeel. It feels a little bit light for as much flavor as it has. But that's that's to be expected from a lower alcohol beer.
Do they have that? They do actually have that out here, and I've kind of avoided it because it was a session IPA, which is usually a little scary, like you say. So, and Stone's regular stuff is so good that I just generally, if I'm going to buy Stone, I'm going to buy
Stone IPA.
Yeah, I'm going to buy their regular IPA or Ruination or something.
Yeah, and this is not as good as a Stone IPA, but for a session IPA, just a beer to drink on a hot day, just as a refreshing, easy to drink IPA, it's quite good. I'm going to give it a 7.
Oh, that's good.
That's pretty high marks for a session IPA.
It is.
Yeah, it tastes really nice.
Well, let me just make a note in here so I can.
What do we need to do? Do we need to light a candle over this thing so that we can melt the wax? Or?
Well, no, I got the wax on. I got the wax.
Okay,
on.
good.
and I it took me a while, and I got the lid off, and you see that?
Yeah, no, now it's corked.
Now it's corked. So, which I wasn't expecting. So let me talk about this beer. This is while I'm trying to uncork it here. Fortunately, I have a little multi-tool here in the office. Hopefully the cork comes out. This beer is from Crux Fermentation Project in Bend, Oregon. Holy hell! I picked it 2 years ago. This is a 2013 release. Oh, fucker. Sorry.
Don't
Pick
listen
this
to Uncle
up.
Gary, kids.
2013 when I was up there. It is their Tough Love Banished Imperial Stout. I paid an obscene amount of money for a 12-ounce bottle that I can't even open. Come on.
This is great.
You see,
So this is
you see
Tough Love?
So this is going to be warm by the time I get it out of here. And I've been storing it, aging it upright, not knowing that there was a badass cork in here. So hopefully the cork isn't too big, and hopefully I don't have to do like we did in high school with wine bottles and push the cork back in. All right, I gotta go get the professional corkscrew. I'll be right back. You guys have to fill some space.
The quest for beer on the show knows no bounds.
I don't remember the last beer I had to use a corkscrew with. I've had a few that are corked, but they're more the champagne cork where you can pop it out with your thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say, I think if you get the big bottle of like Three Philosophers from Omegon, it still comes corked.
Okay,
Some of their stuff does.
we got the
All right, so let's.
All right, so we've got the two-arm screw-down deal.
It's got a longer screw than the. Oh, there we go. And got it out finally. All right, so this is an Imperial Stout that I've had sitting around for a couple of years, aging. I think it was about $15 or $16 for a 12-ounce bottle. So this is a 2013 release. And I've been saving it for a special occasion. You know, the Pint of No Return show is always.
It's more about as special as it gets.
Yeah.
Ooh. So
Yeah.
this is an Imperial Stout brewed with spices aged in bourbon barrels. And bourbon barrel aged stouts are so good. Let's see, but they don't say anything else interesting about it. It is 11.5% by volume and 70 IBUs. And
Whoa, that's pretty high for a stout.
yeah, it is.
It is.
And the last year when I was up there, they didn't have this. I didn't see it there. So I'm not sure if they're even brewing it anymore. But here it goes. That's good. That aged well. Wow, this is excellent. This is just excellent. A lot of bourbon aged stouts will go heavy on the alcohol, so you have a really boozy flavor to them.
Right.
This does not. I mean, I can't even taste the alcohol. I can taste the bourbon. The bourbon is subtle, but it's got some nice coffee and chocolate flavors coming through. And I don't know what spices they use. The bottle doesn't say, or I obscured it with my smudging of the label as I was trying to open it. But oh man, this is good.
So the problem is you give a good review to a beer you can't get any more of.
Oh my god.
That's just not fair.
So, you know, it's been, well, like I said, it's been aged a couple of years, and I wasn't, you know, this was before I was doing the show when I bought it, so I wasn't going to buy 4 of them.
Not at $20 a bottle.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, yeah, like I said, probably around 15. But, oh my god, so Crux Fermentation Project is a pretty cool place. If you've ever been, I recommend going there, and if they ever have their Tough Love Imperial Stout, buy as much as you can. This is great. This is an easy 10. It's everything an Imperial Stout should be. I mean, it's well, it's got the head's a little lacking now, but oh man, this is really
How far is Bend from Portland?
good. I'll say it's probably like 3 hours, maybe.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
I may actually be in Portland this summer.
Well, you'll get a lot of good beer. The Portland has a
Yeah.
ton of great beers.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting to take a lot of good pictures and be drunk most nights.
Yeah, that will not be hard. In Portland.
See if I can do it.
This is mouthfeel. I mean, it is like it's hitting on every single cylinder an Imperial Stout should. So good.
You're just making Jeremy feel bad now with his session IPA over there.
Yeah.
With my little sissy 4.5%.
You and I are drinking these Imperial badass rich malty beers, manly beers that are putting hair on my chest. As I speak, I can feel it growing.
Oh man, this is gonna make for an interesting evening considering I haven't had dinner yet. So
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
this is gonna be good. Yeah, if I when I go to bin this summer, if they have this and in bottles and it doesn't cost me a paycheck, I will definitely get some to share with the rest of you guys, and I'll stash away myself again because it is so good. A lot of the bourbon imperial aged stouts will kind of go over the top on the flavor. They throw a bunch of spice in. They try to do a lot of things with it. This is just like a normal imperial stout that they aged and didn't try to overdo it.
Well, I think that's true. Once you get into those big imperial stouts, when you're over 10%, the best thing you can do with them is let them sit for a couple of years, and that may be what you did. You may have found accidentally the sweet spot, because I think that that boozy flavor tends to mellow out. If you'd had this in 2013, you probably would have thought it very similar.
Yeah.
But the fact that you let it rest for a couple of years, that boozy flavor tends to mellow out, and the other flavors just also mellow out, and it brings the whole package together a lot better. Imperial stouts are definitely my favorite thing to age.
Yeah, I have I don't know. I probably have 10 of them in my cupboard.
Yeah, I've got a few over there too. I should go look at my cupboard someday.
The label says hints of dried cherries, and now that I hear that, obviously I can taste it. But yeah, there's like this subtle, like chocolate-covered cherry flavor that you get.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you've ever had like Cherry Garcia ice cream, and then you get the chocolate and the cherry together, it's that kind of smooth, rich flavor. So yeah, easy 10.
Well, thanks. Now we can't get this beer in.
Yeah. An amazing beer, an amazing review for something that you guys can't get in home either. So enjoy that one.
It'll make for an interesting rest of the show.
That got really high reviews on Beer Advocate as well.
Really? What did they rate it?
93.
Wow.
That's good. I'll have to check into that on Untapped. Untapped is
do it while
like,
you can. Do it while you can still think.
Well, I can still function. Did you notice that they changed the reviews where you can rate them on like a quarter of a rating now?
Yeah, they got more granular. I don't know if they needed to though.
I
kind of find it annoying.
Well, that means you can give Bud 0.25 now.
Yeah. Yeah. Rob will appreciate that.
Yeah. So it's like
hey, maybe we should do Pliny again just so he can rate it lower.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. He can do that. So
any excuse for you guys to send me more Pliny would be fine with me.
You gonna
all right, we'll take care of that.
That Ginny Black Ale?
Well, yeah, we'll grab a 6-pack and set it aside.
Okay.
I'll grab it this weekend because I know it's still around.
And
so.
there's the other one, the Nectar one. What's that?
Oh, do you want Nugget Nectar when it comes out?
So good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're moving on. We're drinking beer. My great beer should make for an interesting rest of the show for everybody else.
Okay. I thought I played a sound effect, but it didn't work. Try it again. Okay, there you go. That was the most appropriate sound effect ever.
I got a badge. Sky's the limit, level 7.
Nice.
So I'll introduce the first topic. Today was a Google I/O conference, right? Where they talk about all of the awesome things that they're doing to learn as much about you as they can, so they can market ads to you. No, that's okay. That's between the lines. Sorry, this is their conference where they announce all their new technologies and every wonderful good thing they're doing for the world. The thing that caught my interest, among other things, there were actually a few things that sounded pretty cool, but was their new photo sharing service that they are unveiling. And I don't know if it's actually out or if they have a release date. But so Google Photos is their new service. It's kind of their way of trying to get more people to use their services, I guess, from a photo sharing perspective. Facebook has been obviously very good at sharing photos. Instagram is very good at sharing photos. Flickr is very good at sharing photos. Google Plus, as much as I like it, still hasn't really caught on, but it seems to have caught on a lot with photography, and maybe Google is kind of tapping into that. And now they're releasing this new Photos, which gives you unlimited photo storage for photos and videos, photos up to 16 megapixels and 1080p videos. So you can upload anything you want into Google Photos for free for life, is what they're saying. Upload from any device. It includes a Mac and a Windows client for uploading from a folder. You can, I guess there's some options for choosing which folder to sync, and if you wanted to automatically sync or just one time or all those kinds of things. And then the real benefit of this from what I've read, I haven't actually seen it, is that it allows you to choose what you want to share and have a seemingly a good amount of granularity with how you share photos. So you can just like grab a link to a photo and post it on Facebook if you want to share it there or wherever you want. Or you can keep photos entirely private. So Google seems to be jumping in with both feet and making a huge push to get the photo sharing market. Thoughts while I drink?
You can upload anything you want as long as it's not too big. 16 megapixels is not very big. It seems like they're going for the mobile photography market more than the photography market in general.
Yeah, that fits my, what I use is my Canon camera, but only because it's such an older unit. It's an older, back. So that works great for me, but yeah, I think if you were really going to go after the pro market, you would increase that megapixel count pretty dramatically. But I wouldn't be surprised that after, at next year's I/O conference, they announced that they're going to take photos of even larger size because the project was such a success or whatever. It's kind of a way to put some sort of cap on an unlimited system.
Yeah, the interesting comparison in one of the articles that I showed a link to was that Flickr offers a terabyte of free space, which is about 208,000 images at the max resolution that Google is offering. Apple provides 5 gigabytes of storage, which is about 1,400 photos at the same size. So what Google is offering is significantly more space. I mean, obviously it's unlimited, but it's going to put some pressure on those other services. I think especially Apple, because I think Jeremy nailed it in that they're really going after the mobile market with this, and that mobile phones don't have 16 megapixel sensors. I mean, maybe there's one out there, but
there's a few out there that are getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's not a common thing yet.
Yeah, what are they? They top out around like probably 10 or 12.
I think some of the Android phones have that. Are pushing 12 and maybe even 14 by now.
And if they're going after the sharing features that Facebook is, kind of cornered the market on sharing photos, at least with family and friends and stuff that you have there. Most people are taking pictures with their mobile devices these days. I mean, I go to events for schools or different things, and everybody's got their phone out taking pictures, and you see maybe, a handful of DSLRs, and I was at a concert last night for my junior high daughter, and the one person I saw with the DSLR was actually shooting video and not taking photos. But tons of people doing stuff on their phone.
It also seems like they are not really chasing the.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Jeremy's on that crappy.
so
again.
I don't know if he was.
Am I
what
here?
he was going to say there. There you are. Yeah, not really chasing the.
I was saying they're not really chasing the market that Flickr currently has. There's no API, particularly the social features are really limited, and it's not clear if you can get your original images back from the new Google Photos. It seems like they compress stuff when you upload it.
They do. They actually, I watched a video earlier today, and they actually said that we compress your videos or your photos. So
they said they compress them if it's over 16 megapixel. I don't believe they're compressing them under.
I think they're compressing everything.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that impression from what I read.
So I'll see if I can find the link to that video again and post it. But a couple of the interesting features, and I think that what Google excels at is in a lot of areas is understanding a lot about people and making suggestions and doing things based on the history it knows about you. So there are some of the features. I'll just read this. Automatic categorization by person, including over decades as people grow up. Google Photos can guess that a child and adult are the same individual. And places, so it automatically figures out places, including when geolocation is not available. Google Photos will infer the location based on 250,000 recognized landmarks. And you can search for any item, or you can search any term you can think of, and if Google Photos recognizes that in your photos, they'll show up. Yeah. So they are actually, they're not just storing your photos, they're actually processing and understanding what those photos are. So, for example, I have the
better to market to you with.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I got a bunch of photos from years ago with old point and shoots and cameras that it had no geotags, and my phone is the only thing that geotags now. But I could upload photos of San Francisco, and it will know that that's where it is, or Yosemite, or probably any of these larger landmarks, and it's just going to know. So then I'll be able to search for photos of the Golden Gate Bridge that I took, and it will pull them all up without me having to go through and do any kind of tagging or geolocation. To me, those are the kind of features that is going to set Google apart, simply because it's going to make it very easy for people to automatically create these historical views of their life. I mean, I got my kids now. My oldest daughter is going to turn 20. If I could get photos of her and share albums of her that I could create based on the intelligence that Google's building behind this, that's a pretty powerful thing to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think though you say Google's pushing this against Apple, and maybe, and that's certainly definitely a player in the market. But I think Apple, we can all admit, Apple's server side stuff has never been great, and it's always been expensive. They give you a little bit for free, but as far as long-term storage and having a large library up there, it's one of the pricier ones. I think
that's not what they're concentrating on.
Where this is going to go head-to-head is Amazon Prime Photo, which just debuted last year. And if you're a Prime member, you have unlimited storage there too. And Gary, you've been an advocate of that. I've started using it for my personal devices in the last few months. Where do you think it is as a product versus Amazon?
I think it's going to seriously, Amazon's going to be in trouble because of the features that Google is adding to this, the intelligence that Google has behind it, not just the ability to store an unlimited amount of photos, but the ability to automatically index and know that a picture is of a certain person. I imagine you have to go in and tag it once and say, oh, this is Keith, and then it'll figure that out through time. This is going to put some pressure on Amazon.
What'll be interesting is if you tag something as me, will I show up in other people's photos as me?
Yeah, the privacy stuff is probably the biggest question mark
That
for
would
me
be the interesting thing.
with Google, right? Because Google is clearly using this to market to you. Amazon's not really marketing this to you. Amazon is kind of exploiting their cloud services that they offer for other things, and tapping into that and offering services to Prime members based on what they're doing as commercial offerings in their cloud. Google's approach is entirely different in that they are using this as data that they're mining about you. So Google, it's almost like, they have all this cloud infrastructure in place that they're, you can turn up, services and all those kinds of things. Or I'm sorry, Amazon is doing that, and they're just kind of offering that as an add-on service to Amazon Prime. They're not really caring about what you're storing. Google actually cares about what you're storing, and they're trying to get information about you based on what you're storing. So it's a little creepy, but if you think about how much information people are putting into Facebook now, and how much Facebook learns about people and their families and their relationships, and all those different kinds of things, I don't know. I mean,
if you don't pay for a service, you are the service, right? You're the product.
Right.
Exactly.
But how much other stuff have we all given to Google before? I mean, I'm already waist deep in Google services that I use every day.
Only waist deep?
Yeah, I'm only because they have yet to make a good email app for my phone. Am I only waist deep?
I do. I do think this is going to put some pressure on Apple, because Apple's system is really good if you're completely Apple. If you have a Mac computer and an iOS device and you're sharing, things work seamlessly and nicely, but they don't play nicely outside of the ecosystem as well.
Well, what Google's going to have to do if they really want to put pressure on Apple, in addition to Amazon, is they're going to have to come up with those social features, because Apple doesn't have the social features either.
Well,
so Google can step up and say, okay, we're hosting the photo, but here's how you easily share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Google+, on...
That's part of what they're doing now, because the example I saw was that someone just sends a link, using their phone. They go into their Photos app for Google, get the link to the photo, paste it into a text message, and send it. So you just share the photo instantly via text message. I imagine that the integration into sharing via Facebook or other things is probably going to be pretty easy to do.
Well, the thing is, Facebook has to allow it, right? Facebook has to allow it. Twitter has to allow it. I mean, Twitter denies.
A link is a link.
A link is a link. But the thing is, and you can put the link to it in Facebook, but that's a completely different animal to seeing the photo show up in someone's timeline versus seeing a link to a photo in someone's timeline. Someone has to know that your photography is worth seeing before they're going to click the link, versus if it just shows up, like you'd load it to Flickr. Flickr allows you to just show up in the timeline.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess Facebook will have to allow it, but I imagine
Flickr allows you to show up in a Twitter timeline too. Instagram does not show up in a Twitter timeline. Google Plus does not show up in a Twitter timeline.
It'll be interesting.
It will. I mean, that's the stuff they've got to overcome. They've got to get those deals to make that work.
But for me, the biggest barrier I have right now with sharing photos is photos that I don't want to be public.
Right.
But I do want to share with my parents and my in-laws and family members that I want to post those pictures so that everybody can see them. I don't want to have to email them to them. So that's the problem that this will solve.
It could solve. Like I said, if it's simple to do, it's going to solve that in spades. And that's where I struggle too. Amazon makes it simple to put the link out there, but I don't want the link in Facebook. I want the photo.
Yeah, I agree.
Want the photo on Twitter. I want the photo on Oomla or whatever else the next big social network's going to be.
It's going to be the Pint of No Return social network.
Oh God, I don't want to run that. I have hard enough time running this.
Based on the spear that is put me under the table.
Yeah. All right. Well, we need to. If we're going to hit another topic, we need to hit it, or we need to jump to picks. Jeremy says, "Let's do picks."
Yeah, let's jump to picks.
Okay.
Jeremy, I think you should do my pick first.
Bumper picks.
Oh, bumper. Wait,
I'm
I
not the
can't
only
do
one that
it
had
for
a
some
heart.
beers. Leave me alone.
I'm not the only one.
Bumper.
Ah! Okay, so my connection is giving me all kinds of trouble. So while it seems to be working, maybe it's not working because Keith is frozen mid
No,
gulp.
I hear you. Go for it.
All right. So I'm going to do my pick before I drop off here. My pick this week is Capitals, which is an iOS word battle game. If you're familiar with board games that use hex cells to map out the world, and then you try to capture each hex, that is essentially what that's the model that Capitals uses. And as you spell words, your territory expands, and the goal is to expand through the entire screen and take over the enemy's territory. It's pretty new. I've only played it a couple of times, and I'm really not very good at it. So if you'd like to download it and play against me, I'm sure you will win. Even though
I
even
will
though I
attempt.
suck, even though I suck at it, I'm having fun. So
Well,
that's my pick. Capitals.
that is the sign of a great game. Is you can be totally bad at it and still want to play more.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Crossy Road.
Yeah. That's how Hearthstone got me, to be honest.
All right, I'm trying to download it. I'll play against you, Jeremy, and then you
So
can.
if I play Hearthstone with you, will I win?
Not at this point, but only because I've put so many ridiculous hours of practice in. And back in the day, I would have. But if you download Hearthstone, you know what? I'll play with one of the base decks just to keep it fair and interesting until you collect enough cards.
Okay.
But I will try Capitals. Probably tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow will be a slow day at work.
It's downloading now. I'll find it. I take it it's tied into Game Center for iOS, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I should be able to find you. Okay. I want to hear about Keith's pick.
Well, I don't know what my pick is. I mean, I know what my pick is, but Jeremy wrote a pick for me in the doc, and I didn't know if you wanted to.
Oh, AdamandEve.com is not your pick?
Oh, I love AdamandEve.com. They sell all kinds of exciting adult toys. But no, that's not my pick for this week, despite the fact that I know exactly what it is. My pick this week is actually it's something I never ever thought I would do, and I have actually recently dropped my former favorite iPhone email app, and have replaced it with Outlook from Microsoft.
Oh my God.
The Outlook app for iOS is actually a product they bought from another company, wholesale. And it is by far the best email app out there for the iPhone. It's got great integration with Gmail, so it's a no-brainer to run your Gmail stuff. You can do you link it up. You can link it up with Dropbox or one of 6 other cloud sharing services, so you can instantly email files that are in that back and forth. It connects with your Google Calendars. It just works, and it does what they call a focused inbox. But you know how Google tried to do that whole these are the important emails and these are the regular emails thing. It does it even better. Automatically, so you can show all your email or just the ones that it thinks are important, and more than 9 times out of 10 it's right. So I'm a big fan. I've been using it for the Pine of No Return show email for about a month now, and just this week I finally bit the bullet. And I'm not alone. So just after I did it, The Verge did an article today on the best email apps for Android and iOS, and they came up with Microsoft Outlook being the best one as well. So it is definitely is, despite the much hated name in the IT world of Microsoft Outlook, it is certainly the best mobile app out there, and I recommend you try it. And it's totally free.
Wow,
I don't know if I can do that.
I know it's hard. It's hard to say I'm going to put Outlook on my iPhone and be happy with it. It's hard to say those things, but once you do, you will be amazed. You will be amazed.
Have you tried the Inbox app?
The which Inbox app?
It's just called Inbox. I think it's Google's. Yeah, it's Google's Inbox.
Oh, I have used the Google ones, both Inbox and their regular Gmail app, and I've never been fully satisfied with either one of them.
Inbox to me is not working for me.
Yeah.
The regular one works better to me. Interesting thing. My theory on Microsoft is that they going way back, 20 years ago, they were the company, right? They were huge, and then they kind of got a bad name at some point. Probably around Windows 95 is where things started to really turn for them in terms of getting a kind of a bad reputation, and then Windows 98, which few people remember. But I think that for probably in they're turning around. I think they finally understand what's going on, and I think they are going to turn it around. And in another 5 to 10 years, they're not going to be this old company that kind of went downhill and got a bad reputation. They're going to come back up.
The thing with being the old company that's going downhill is eventually you hit the bottom of the hill and you become the plucky underdog again.
I think that they're at that point.
That's exactly. I agree. That's exactly where they are. They seem to be making a lot of good decisions, a lot of very aggressive decisions. I think I've been running a Windows 10 test machine for months now, and it's my main system for a laptop right now. It's great. I love it a lot. It's really good. It took all the best things that they did in 7 and 8 and made them usable again. I just put the link in the show notes for Acompli.com, and that's what Microsoft bought, Acompli. And that's the email. That's what Microsoft Outlook is rebranded Acompli, and it's really good. It's just really good. So you can go check out what Acompli was, and then you'll follow the links to Microsoft Outlook.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not Outlook as a product. It's Acompli with the Outlook name on it, but it's just so good.
And it works with Gmail.
It works really well with Gmail, and works with the Gmail calendars and Google calendars and Google Drive and Dropbox and Box.net and all these other cloud storage things too. So it kind of becomes your one-stop shop for email and files and stuff, and it works really well. It really does. Outlook works well. These are things I not thought I would say.
3 words you thought you would never say.
Yeah, as a professional computer tech support guy, these are not things I thought I would say, but Outlook works well on iOS.
You have to add those last 2 words.
Yeah. Well, and Android, I guess. I don't have an Android device to test on, but they have it for Android too. And The Verge rates it as the #1 app there as well.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
that's
Verge.
Interesting.
So I would encourage you to set aside your Microsoft and Outlook biases and give it a try.
If they could only do that for the desktop.
I know. Acompli for the desktop would be awesome. So let me just say, if they could work that into Outlook for 2015, that would be great.
That'd be a winner.
I think they're going to go the other way and work Outlook desktop into Acompli.
Yeah, slowly it's going to devolve probably. But it's okay. For now, it's awesome. So use it.
These things happen. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left. My pick is an album that came out a couple of weeks ago, I guess. I don't remember. It's the new Mumford & Sons. It's called Wilder Mind. And I don't know, are you guys familiar with Mumford & Sons?
I have heard of some of their stuff, and I've always liked what they are.
I couldn't hear Jeremy because Keith was talking.
No, I don't know anything about it.
So Mumford & Sons, they kind of broke a few years ago. They had an album out, and it got a lot of play. And they're from Ireland, I think Ireland or Scotland, somewhere, one of those countries. They do a lot of acoustic instruments, so a lot of like banjo and acoustic guitar, a different kind of band, not just your normal drums, bass, guitar, singer, keyboard type thing. So they would do a lot of different things, and they had a lot of pretty good airplay over those first couple of albums. They did really well. So this is their third album. So they're, like I said, they're kind of more almost folksy, but more kind of more modern, upbeat tunes and music and lyrics and stuff. So the first couple albums, very good, excellent albums. Love them both. I listened to them extensively and have been a huge fan of theirs ever since that first album came out. So their new album was announced. I pre-ordered it, got it, and Amazon had it right away on Amazon Prime. So if you're a Prime member, you can listen to it for free. Their third album, they did a departure, and they kind of tucked away the banjos and the acoustics and all those kinds of instruments, and actually went with a standard kind of format of drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, and it's really good. And a lot of people were complaining. I've heard reviews of people like, "Oh, this is not Mumford and Sons. They're just kind of going with mainstream music." But to me, it is the same kinds of songs that they've always written and performed. They just changed out the instruments for different things and decided to push themselves in different directions and experiment for what they normally did and do something different from what they normally did. And to me, it's great. To me, I love the album and have listened to it multiple times since it came out, and would highly recommend it. There's several good songs, and this became my pick because I was going through my DVR and I noticed that they were on The Daily Show, I think last week. I don't know, it was sometime in the last week or two, and they played one of the songs off the album on The Daily Show, and I just loved it. Seeing that live after hearing the album version, to me, made me really truly wish I was able to go see them in concert, which I'm going to miss them. They're going to be at San Francisco, which I cannot go to because I'm going to be coming back from Oregon that week. So Wilder Mind from Mumford & Sons, it's a great album. I recommend it. And if you haven't heard their other stuff, I highly recommend it as well.
Cool, I'll check it out.
Yep, we'll be downloading, or at least a preview of that tonight, if not the whole damn thing.
Like I said, on Prime, I believe all three of their albums are available on Amazon Prime if you're a Prime member. I think you can listen to them all in the Prime Music. So
we'll check that out for sure.
Worth
like that. Like free.
Yep.
I am a Prime member, so.
I think the Wolf is my favorite song on that album right now. So.
The Wolf.
The Wolf.
Check that out first.
Track number 3.
Good stuff. And if I had a second pick, it would be the tough-loved Banished Imperial Stout from Crux Fermentation Project. Which
really? That's out of the blueberry. I don't know where you came up with this.
Actually, when I was checking into Untappd, it looked like they had newer versions of this as well. So they had a 2014 version of it. They just didn't have it when I was there. So maybe they will have a 2015, and I'll be able to pick it up.
Cool.
So.
All right. Well, we're gonna play the theme. How many shows can we do without Rob? How many?
2.
2. 2 is it. Rob, you better be back next week.